that you're mostly talking about occupational health. But before that, our survival is important. And survival under the threat of disasters, which are striking us very oftenly. You know about pandemics, but you may be knowing recently what happened at Joshimath and what happened in the Chamoli district during the last year, February 2021, and climate change and many more such developmental impacts or technological disasters that had struck us, including the oil and gas industry. I remember the oil well number 5 in Assam when it got fire in May 2020. It lit for almost 4 to 5 months. And Dr. Ranjan Malhotra is one of those who is well aware about it and how difficult it was to actually take care of it. So I would say that we need to change our attitudes towards our lifestyles, towards our occupation, and towards the nature. तो किसी शायर ने कहा है कि नज़र बदलो नज़ारे बदल जाएंगे, नज़र बदलो नज़ारे बदल जाएंगे, सोच बदलो सितारे बदल जाएंगे, सोच बदलो सितारे बदल जाएंगे, कश्तियों को बदलने की ज़रूरत नहीं यारों, कश्तियों को बदलने की ज़रूरत नहीं यारों, दिशा बदलो किनारे बदल जाएंगे. So let's move from risk and disasters towards resilience and safety. And that's the goal of this program. And I would say that in pandemics, preparedness is not the only pandemics that had struck us. I remember way back in the 17th, 18th, 19th century, several such instances had taken place, and they did remind us to be prepared against these microorganisms, which can be even more stronger than the humans, who are much bigger in dimensions, but less immune and capable of fighting against them. So our goal in disaster management is always a proactive participation, involvement and action, rather than awaiting for such disasters to happen and affect us. We have to see that, may I please start on the slides also, because I know the time is limited and time is most valuable factor in terms of our disaster management. We say golden hours, and the first 72 hours after any strike of disasters are the golden hours when we can save maximum number of lives. So my biodata is not important, but this slide is very important, just which a reminder and alert to us from the past. History is key to the present as well as to the future, what has happened in the past, but it is not complete truth, because our situations are dynamic, they are changing, and we are evolving and resulting into new kind of problems that are uncertain, unexpected and untimely. So just I kept few of these pandemics which had struck in the past, including the cholera, plague, Spanish flu or swine flu and so on, including up to the pandemics which had struck us. But why should we discuss now after we are considering pandemics is almost over? On 16th this month, we had 0 cases in Delhi. So it shows our strength of overcoming or containing and controlling the COVID-19 compared to many other countries who are still witnessing the cases of COVID-19 at a rising rate. But now this is not time to sit back and relax. It's a time to prepare, time to make people aware, informed, so that we can actually face the future pandemics. So this is a transition period which need to be utilized best for our alertness, awareness, information, knowledge development, and also preparedness. Now, why these two sectors should have come together, the government and the industry, is that each one of them has a different capability. If we look into our livelihoods, more than 80 to 85% of the people are engaged with the private, corporate and the public sector. Only maybe less than 10% of the people are working for the government. So therefore, a large portion of our population actually is dependent on this sector. If this sector is not prepared, will not be able to reap the benefits of our all policies, plans, procedures, and strategies, which are aiming actually for zero casualty, disaster-free and resilient nation. So therefore, I'm just citing some of the cases. Dr. Mehrotra told you some of the mortalities which happened in Indian oil sector, but also in other industries as well. So I remember many other gas leakages and industries which were actually not supposed to be closed, but they were closed because of the COVID, and that lockdown actually led to some new problems, which we learnt later. I was involved during the March, April 2020 and onwards as the hotspots were rising in numbers, and we were interacting at the highest levels, right from the chief ministers of the state, chief secretaries and all the functionaries. And we were knowing that these cases will arise because the people's needs have to be also served. So some of the markets were being opened up for serving the vital needs of the people, and that only was the region for spread or transmission of those diseases. But on the other hand, the industries, they had to actually maintain certain surveillance, certain monitoring systems. They were automated systems, which actually failed and caused problems later on to the lives of the people. Then risks and the triggers. Now what should we do? Should we wait for those risks or the triggers to come and then prepare? Or should we detect them in advance and actually diagnose and decipher them well in time? So what I am talking about here is that challenges and the scopes are many, because industries, they are spread across the globe now. There are many of them which are multinational now. So they have their offices and their production unit at different places. I remember when we talk about oil and gas sector, we are often talking in terms of the upstream, midstream and downstream areas. And each of them is placed at different geographical locations, but working under one corporate head. So if this diversity in geographical spread and in terms of the different functions being carried out by the industry at that particular time and place are not well looked into, the occupational health hazards cannot be well addressed. I know you are very good as a health specialist, but may not be that good in identifying the actual risks. I remember many of the industries, for example, one of the oil and gas industries in Visakhapatnam had an explosion incident because of fire, and that fire occurred because of leakage of gas. So these kind of instances which are happening have been reported from various other industries as well. I could see from the brochure, even NHPC is involved. And recent problem of the Joshimath was related to one of the hydel projects being run by NTPC. So how do these people function? And also I can recall the 7th February, Sunday morning at around 10:30 a.m. when this rockfall along with glaciate body happened, and more than 200 people, they were stuck and buried alive inside the tunnel because of the debris which were brought down by that event. So can you imagine the plight of the people? And how do you ensure health if they are not able to survive? So survival is the first thing, safety is the first thing from any kind of risk, and then health comes. No doubt health is the next priority. And I could see from the previous session, mental health has been given a very good importance, and mental health is the first priority. If mentally one is not sound, he cannot succeed in meeting the challenges and the difficulties that disasters bring in. So mental health has to be given a priority, then economic, social, environmental and other health or physical health will come. So we should look into these. And a business continuity plan, they are often looking into financial losses and recoveries. But do they have a plan to recover from such pandemics or disaster-like situations which they may face? So all the industries now should look into the recovery plans or business continuity plans from the disaster risk reduction and resilience perspective as well. Okay. And finally, in order to be equipped proactively you have to continuously monitor these situations and also watch the geographical, atmospheric and other processes around those locations so that you can meet the challenges and work out both at your corporate head office levels as well as the global levels where your offices or the industries are located. Now, scalability, it is seen that WHO came into the picture when the pandemics was to be declared. Until and unless WHO has declared its pandemics, no action at the cross-border levels would have been taking place. So the migration and the checking at the cross-border levels was possible only if the global level thought process and the international health regulations were in place, and they need to be modified now in the light of COVID-19. Similarly, we have the national policies. PM Abhim, Dr. Dharmesh has told you, he's running a major program in terms of several crores of rupees for pandemics preparedness and capacity building in that regard. So all that programs have to be integrated and mainstream with all other sectors. And that's what he had shown in his plan. Then the geographical footprints. We should not wait the disease to come to my area, to come to my industry. I should look into what is happening around us. And can it affect me? So we say that our preparedness, our resilience is dependent on if all are prepared, then I am prepared. Until everyone is not prepared, I am not prepared. Because anyone can cause new kind of problems, diseases or disasters that can affect us. That's what happened in COVID-19 also. If China would have contained it, then we would not have suffered or none of the other countries would have suffered. So similarly, we should know our system also. I know people in industry are too busy with their own occupations, but the systems work in their fashion. Governments. Now, let me tell you briefly that during the COVID-19, we had 11 empowered groups, and the groups actually made an observation that whole of government, whole of society, and whole of system approach was the one, this three-tier system, which actually helped us in succeeding against the COVID-19. So until and unless whole of system and society we are talking about, system is what we go through administration and governance, but society is everyone. So society is all public, corporate and private sector too. And we have these organizations which are involved. And then preparedness and interpandemic phases. So this is what I am trying to remind you, that now let's think if it is over, it is interpandemic season. Next pandemics may be awaiting for us. Maybe the new one which we don't know. No? So we have to prepare against that. And for that, we need actually preventive measures. You need networks. Dr. Dharmesh was telling you, you need health facilities, infrastructure and resources. For that, are you networking, putting them in a digital platform within a GIS system so that you can easily access and quickly access and acquire and mobilize those resources in case the disaster strikes. Because disasters are those situations when your capacities are overwhelmed, your resources are overwhelmed, and you feel scarcity of those resources, networks, and infrastructures. So we have to work in those directions. And also the geographical level of businesses. If you're located in one place, it's easy to maintain and contain. But if you're located in different places, people will get moved from one to the other place, and it will cause problems. Then logistics and HSC problem. Since time is passing, so I'll not just take more time. I said in behavior of individuals, that is most important. I'll just show you through a video how a change in attitude or a disciplined worker can change these situations and our perspectives. Then general hygiene, travel policies, protection and climate control provisions. Communication is very much required. If timely communication is not there, you will not be able to take up steps. So these are some of the organizations which I have listed which are responsible. At the national level, we have key nodal agencies which will issue warnings which will respond to the situations. So you have to integrate yourself with them. We have a system called incident response system that you need to know. You cannot work separately or in isolation or your own chambers, but you have to come together under one umbrella, and command, coordination, collaboration, and control systems work in a given fashion that you need to know. And this is from the top national level, state level, district level, and to the grassroots levels I have listed. So alert levels, we have now common alert protocol. This is 112, like 9/11 in USA, which will be alerting about different type of disasters against which you can prepare yourself. And logistics, health issues. I think I had, okay, it's over. I was just showing you some of the modules that we have developed. You can access those modules from nidm.gov.in. So before I leave this place, I request the organizers to kindly play the small video of a few minutes, which will actually show you. If you can raise the sound, different perspective and thought can bring you different results. It's not just one type of thinking which is desirable. All right? Please watch it very carefully even if sound is not clear or loud. You will understand it.
25% divided among the 5 of you. $25 divided by 5. You're wrong, Billy. Now. 5 goes into 5 once. There you are. 5 into 25. 5 times 5 is 25. It's 25. 5 times 4 is 20. Fourteen. There. Now. 12, 16, 20, 21, 22.
Anyway, I see stress and tensions, they overload us. And such situations, always talking about disasters and difficulties. But we must see the situations in a lighter mode and a different perspective. Maybe that can also help us when the situations are very challenging and daunting. So, last में कहूँगा कि मंजिलें उन्हीं को मिलती हैं जो सफ़र अख्तियार करते हैं. ऐसे मुसाफिर तो यारो रास्ते भी इंतज़ार करते हैं. So, I give you all the best for your health, safe, good quality life on an equitable, justifiable, and right-based manner with good fraternity amongst all of us. Thank you very much for the opportunity.